Hello, and welcome to the Process of the Pearl podcast with Tondalia, where we discuss taking life one day at a time as a grain of sand. Journey with us as we discuss promise, process, and God's manifestation in our lives. Hello, Matthew. Thank you for joining us here at the Process of the Pearl, where this is a faith based ministry and where we'll be talking about the processes of life, standing on the promises of God, and enjoying to see how his manifestation comes through all that. And in that process, first we want to introduce you, not only introduce you, but to see if you can tell us a little bit about yourself.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. It's definitely a privilege to be here, to be able to just converse with you, to be able to, just have some time together. But yeah, again, my name is Matthew Charity. I'm a current success coach at Ligon Middle School on behalf of communities and schools. So I work for a nonprofit, and basically what we're doing is we're looking to support students and families any way we can. So, I mean, any type of resources we can find for you to help you out, whether it be in school, whether it be in the community, that's what we do. So, it's been great working for something like that because that is my value. It's kind of what I believe in. I want to help, I want to do these things. So I've been doing that. I've been in the Raleigh Durham area about almost 2 years now, my wife, and yeah, just enjoying being here.
Okay, okay, all right. My biggest thing when I talked with you earlier is to find out how your faith helps you in the community and schools.
Faith in communities and schools. That's a good question. I think that you have to have a faith and belief in the people that you're working with, right? Because community is made up of people. So
Mhm.
you have to have faith that they're gonna, be able to go on the path that, they see fit. That's been created for them. And if you don't have that faith in them and in what you're doing, then it's not gonna be genuine. It's not gonna have a, authentic feel. And so I think that me being in this capacity,
Mhm.
it's kind of instilled in me even more. It's made my faith even stronger. Because I do see some of the benefits. I do see some of the fruits of your labor. But a lot of it is something that you have to continue to have the faith after those different individuals come into your life and they go. You have the faith that they're going to continue to go on those paths. So I think it's intertwined with communities and schools.
Okay, that sounds good. So, what are some of the age groups of students or kids that you work with, or even adults that you have encountered that you had to use the educational side, but also your faith?
Oh, I mean, we talking all ages. I mean, I say from 5 to probably adults at my age. So I'm 33. So I would say up into the 40s, 50s. I think you have to do that. You have to have, and it's funny you say that because, you input these educational things that you learn, the knowledge. You do it for your job, you do it for, but not even for your job, your personal life. You do it for your kids because you're trying to instill a sense of understanding within them. But you also do it for adults because, let's be honest, sometimes, we have to be checked as adults, including myself. So I mean, it goes hand in hand. So
Mhm.
I think you definitely have to use it at all times. I've been doing it with all ages, honestly. I even think of my nephew. He's like 3, 2, 3, and I still have to, you have to let it be, put it out there.
Okay, okay, okay. So, is there anything that you would like to share with the audience on, not only just community and schools, the program that you nonprofit that you're up under, but also with about your faith?
Yes, I mean, in terms of my faith, I think it's something that's been instilled in me since I was a young boy. Going to church. I was going to church consistently since I can remember, since elementary school. So I say that to say that I was taught different things about, different religions essentially. And my parents are ones that have faith in God and the Creator and all good things. And so they instilled that in my brothers and I. And since then, it's always been within me. And I think when it comes to just my faith, it's continued to evolve. It's continued to grow. I continue to learn more. Um, and that's the beauty of it, because no one is, an expert at having faith, but you feel it. It's within your heart. It's who you are, and that's been my faith throughout life. So I continue that now, and I'm glad I get to talk to people like yourself who also have similar faiths. No two faiths are the exact same. So the fact that you and I are able to have conversations throughout the day, through all the busyness of our days, even if this is small moments, that means a lot because it kind of fills your soul with joy and it's just warm and it's that type of thing. You know what I mean? You know how that feeling
Right,
is
to
when
be
you.
able to encourage each other and lift each other up because the day is busy and you never know what's going, you know, even though my face may be serious, I may be in deep thought. It's like, you all right, Miss Baker? Yeah, I'm good. Or
Exactly.
Miss Lynch, I'm sorry, Miss Lynch, you good? I'm good.
Yeah, yeah, exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. You do
so
that, and you sometimes it's a passing. It's like your ship's passing in the night, but you still see each other
right.
a couple times in that little bit, And so
Yeah,
absolutely,
yeah. Yeah, that's good. Well, thank
hmm
you so much for the encouragement on a daily basis. It has, like I said, and it has helped me to be able to, um, and since you have been working with us at the school, has helped me to be able to come out of my comfort zone because,
That's good.
you know, trying to encourage you and you be like, okay, Miss Baker, what you go? I mean, Miss Lynch, what you gonna do? Miss Lynch,
Yeah,
what
for
you
sure.
gonna do? Yeah, so it has helped a whole lot to be able to say, okay, let's go do this thing. So yeah, podcast is here.
Yeah, I mean, all you got to do, I think people don't even take into consideration is, I read it all the time with stuff that I do that you or hear it in audio form that people will practice and prep and study and do all these things to prepare. But the easiest, I mean, the most difficult part is actually doing what you are doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Being led by faith. So
being led
that's
by faith.
amazing. That's
Yes,
amazing. That's
yes,
all you can do. Once
yes.
you're being led by faith, then it's easy, right? So,
Right, exactly. So how is it? How is your writing going? Coming.
oh, it's going good. So I definitely am involved in a lot of freelance writing. I work on fiction work as well. I've created a manuscript, so I'm going through the probably at this point it's got to be the fifth or sixth
Hmm.
rewrite or edit. But I'm trying to decide what I want to do in that regard, as far as self-publishing or going with a top five publisher. I'm continuing to do freelance, like I said. So being able to do different articles and blogs and things of that nature, I'm picking it up and trying to niche down. So in doing that, um, that's always encouraging. I enjoy writing because it's a form of expression, and I
Hmm.
can say whatever it is that I like, however I see fit, in the most I don't know, just kind of realistic way, so that you understand. I want you to understand what I'm saying, where I'm coming from, and I want it to feel fresh. So it's a therapeutic thing in a sense. You're writing down your thoughts and you're getting them out. So yeah, so I'm doing well in that regard, and so that goes hand in hand with my work as a coach because some of those things, those moments, help lead me into writing, doing what I want to do. So.
That's wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So when is your first book coming?
Oh man, that's the $1 million question. So with the book, So I wrote a book based about um, it was basically organized crime in the 1960s during the Charlotte during when Charlotte was once known as Brooklyn, Charlotte. They actually ended up coming out and doing urban renewal,
Okay.
urban revitalization, things of that nature. I mean, same thing as gentrification in a sense. So
Mhm.
all of these things are happening during that time. So what I've done is I've done multiple rewrites on it. You go back through, you find different things. I think the next step is just finding an editor, a professional editor, to go ahead and read it, and then make a decision on how I want to market it going forward. So
Okay.
it's a process, but I mean, I told myself at the beginning of the year, every month it's June 1st, right? So every month I'm big on the beginning of the month, beginning of the week, you know what I'm saying? Beginning of the day, hour, I'm that dude. So because of that, I was like, okay, where am I at? Every month I'll check what I've said I'm gonna do for the month for the year.
Okay.
We're 5 months into the year now. So when it comes to the novel, we still have 7 months to go, but I've taken the steps necessary to continue it on. So I think doing that, but doing a lot of other things too can also, I guess, hinder that, if you will. But um, I like to do multiple things, so I feel like I have the time to do so. So yeah, that's my style though,
Okay, that's good. Okay.
for
Now,
sure.
the other question I have for you, how does the education that you receive from elementary up into high school, college, middle school, high school, and college, how does that play in with what you teach the students now?
Yeah, so I think, of course, K through 12, essentially, you're learning all the basics of different subjects that we all are kind of accustomed to, right? So being able to just have that under your belt while these students are still going through that process, you don't have, I don't want to say it's a one up, but you know a lot more. You've been through the process, you know what's going on. So that's already education in itself, right? I mean, of course it's education, but it's even a little deeper than that.
Mhm,
College teaches you more, I would say, organization and self-discipline, which you also need when you're talking to, youth. You have to have those things because again, now you're in a college setting. For me, of course, you're still learning things in the classroom, but you also have to know, okay, I may have 2 hours of class today. That means I have to study for 3 or 4 hours later on, and I have to, and nobody's underneath me to tell me what to do. I'm
mhm,
stepping out as an individual, so
mhm,
that helps as well.
mhm,
And then, of course, once you become a part of something like a nonprofit, usually you are educated on um, the different more protocols and standards,
mhm,
and you're given evidence-based practices to learn and to take tests on and classes on continuing education. So you're doing all that, so that way when you go in, okay, if a situation arises or this is the scenario, this is what I would do in this situation because I've studied it, I've reacted to it, I understand if a student is acting this way or that way. I can't jump to a conclusion. So I mean, all these things you think quickly on your feet. And honestly, even if you haven't done some of the evidence-based practices, you still know it from being in the building, right? Even
mhm,
even yourself, you know certain things about certain students, how to talk to certain students, or different parts of the day, things people are going through. Being in the front office, I'm sure you see things that I don't see throughout the day all the time
mhm,
from people that are coming in and out. So.
mhm, mhm, mhm. How does your faith play a part in that when you see in different scenarios or just students or children going through different things throughout their day or life?
Yeah, I think my faith always has me grounded. So although you feel for individuals in certain instances when you're just learning about things, or even if situations get a little testy and you're in that moment, again, not I'm just really big on because I have a certain faith in myself and that I'll be protected. I don't put myself in certain situations, but I also don't take it to people say 0 to 100. I don't do that
Mm,
quickly. I kind of assess the situation. So
mhm,
you have to assess the situation, and I think if you're doing that, that's the common sense and kind of like
mhm,
education again that you picked up.
mm,
And so you have that on top of your faith. You can kind of feel comfortable walking down hallways and engaging in different situations, and even when you see things in the community or in the schools that you know hit your heart a little different, you still have that place, that safe haven where you can go back and you can, be by yourself and continue to kind of reflect on it and then know how to handle it going forward the next time. There's definitely gonna be moments where it's a little bit more challenging for sure, but with faith, you're always able to come out of that, in
mm,
my opinion,
mhm. That's
at
right.
some point.
That's
Mhm.
right. Okay.
Yeah.
So, how can you help someone spiritually through the process if, like, say, for instance, not even we're going to take it away from the schools, just the world, the nation themselves? What is it that you can do to encourage someone or to let somebody know about the promises of God or the processes you have gone through to help build their faith or build their confidence, encourage them to the next level?
Sure, sure. I always feel like I truly do believe that our life is a journey,
Mm,
and we're constantly, walking on this journey and moving forward. And the beautiful thing is that you don't 100% know what's ahead of you,
mm,
but if you have faith in yourself and your belief and your creator and the love that God has for you, and that created for you, making you, perfect essentially. You know, I think that you can move forward knowing that, okay, it can get better. It can eventually get better. It can get to a point where, um, I'm looking back on that situation or that time in my life, and, you know, that I made it through that. That's how strong I am. I was able to make it through.
Right.
And so I always think about that. If you have those things, if you have that belief, and you just, you're constantly moving forward, that you can do anything in this world. Truly, truly. Once again, we just talk about this podcast. I remember talking to you about when it was just an idea, and you turn it into something, and you can take it to whatever it is you want to do. I think knowing that that is power in the tongue, and you can do whatever it is that you want to do. You can't just say it. You have to act. You do. You have to act, but saying it, at least mentally, if you say it enough, it'll have you really believing it. People say you can say anything, and you say it enough times, you're gonna start believing it.
Um,
Because so I mean, good or bad. So use that, wisely. That power. But
and that's
yeah,
right there.
yeah,
Good or bad, use it wisely. Mm,
yeah, you have to.
mm,
You have to. I think,
mm,
yeah, because
mm,
You know, use your powers for good or evil is the question. But yeah, I think people, anybody, and even if you feel like you can't, you think you tried, there's always different ways, always opportunities. You have to use the different things that, you've been blessed with, what intellect you do have, what resources you may have. Think outside the box, I mean, you have to do that. So that's why it's important when we do SEL things, social emotional learning things, or critical thinking skills, or anything like that.
mm,
That's extremely important, because when you get in certain spaces, you're not just looking for somebody to do for you. You are looking to uplift yourself, because you have a certain faith, a certain level of, um, comfort within your heart. So I think that's important. Well,
yeah, that is important. I'm just saying, wow. I'm not saying it out loud, but I'm like saying, wow, which is
sure.
true. That ability to go through the process and lift yourself up, standing on the
Mhm.
promises of God and watch Him manifest what He said He will do in your life because your heart.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah,
Wow.
that's important.
That's beautiful. Okay, okay. So is there anything else you would like to share with us that I have not asked or may have shared with you or talked to you about before this interview and I may not remember at this point?
Nah, I just I really am. I just do want to say I really am proud of you for starting up the podcast. Not just starting up, but going through with what you said you were going to do, and taking it wherever you'd like to take it. At your pace. You do it for the joy. You do it for the love, and for because of your faith. And you're helping others. That is the goal. You're helping others. So with the goal being that, you'll go extremely far. So I mean, I'm definitely grateful to be on with you. Like I said, I really do enjoy. Like I said, I miss when you over there in student service in a different office setting, because I was able to come in there a little bit more. But I know you're doing your thing in a different location, but still doing it wise and effectively. So even though I don't get to see you as often or as long each day, it's definitely always a beam of sunshine and joy. So you always make me laugh. So I always enjoy being around laughter, people that can, bring laughter to your life. Something you can agree on and think about. That's
Mhm.
important. That's kind of like medicine at any point in time,
That's good.
laughing. You know. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm appreciative of it, and I just want you to continue to, you know, do whatever it is that you say you want to do. Just know that you can do it.
Well,
So
to
you can
God
do
be
it.
the glory. I give it all to Him because I
Absolutely.
can't do anything without Him. And at 3 years, 3 years
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
making, and
There you go.
3 years, it's just been amazing, a blessing to receive. Like I said, going through a process and standing on the promises and believing, and now just to see the manifestation of everything that's been going forth and looking forward to so much more of manifestation. And again, like you said earlier, even though you might have a setback or fall down, you still can get yourself up but how are you going to speak yourself up? You're going to speak yourself up positive or negative, and I try my best to stay within that positive point of no, it's not going to be like this. It should be like this, or you know me. Have you thought about the big picture? We got to look at that perspective. Seeing it
It's
God's
true.
way, not our way, because if we're looking at it just like this, we don't see what God is saying. We're seeing what we're saying. But when we look past us, then we can see it his way, not our way. And it's such a better light. Yeah, yeah.
Definitely. I think that comes with maturity and time, and temperament.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be, I think that's a submissive thing, right? You have to be submissive to the faith that's being given in order to, receive.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a lot more difficult for some than others, So
And it's a
it's
total
definitely something to think
surrender.
about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's something to think about for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good. Well, I don't think I have any additional questions.
All right. Well,
Um,
like I said, I
but
mean, you're doing great. You're doing great. Like I
okay.
said, I can't wait to continue to see just just the creation, the creation out of love. So that's all it is.
It's
I
about the
enjoy it.
process, going through the process, and
Yes.
where have God brought you from? How did
Hmm.
you stand? How did you go through the process? And what do you see now in your life? You know. But it is one question I do ask my guests when they come: how do you
Yeah.
see yourself, as a light bulb or a lighthouse?
Ooh, a light bulb or a lighthouse.
Ponder on that for a second.
See myself as, hmm, I gotta go with my gut. My gut says the lighthouse. My gut says the lighthouse. When I think lighthouse, I think, that is overlooking a large body of water or land or area. And, it's necessary because it's almost like that thing where if you're out there, you're trying to get to, it's like, hey, and I'm that person that's kind of like, hey, let me guide you, let me be that safe place, that home base for you. So yeah, I'll say the lighthouse.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
Well, I gotta ask you, what would you say?
Oh, lighthouse.
Lighthouse?
Yes.
Okay, what's your reasoning?
I would say lighthouse. When, like I said, I see you as a lighthouse because you always trying to lead and guide someone somewhere.
Right.
And when I think about a lighthouse and with that light, and you got to think about there's a ship that's out there or either a boat that's lost and they're trying to find their way back to some form of a land.
Mm.
So you've always been that coach that um, the kids or even the adults, like you said, gravitate to say, you know, listening for that next opinion of what's going to happen next, or, what is the positive thing you can give me? That's what I see a lighthouse.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. So
Yeah. I see
yes,
lighthouse.
man. Yeah, we out here. We trying. Trying.
I see lighthouse.
Yeah.
Are there any encouraging words you would like to share with the audience before we close out?
I would just tell the audience that to look within. You can do whatever it is that you want to do if you truly believe it and apply it. You can and just look within, because within is, your spirit, is all the joy and all the faith that you have within you. Look within. So yeah,
Amen. Amen.
that's it.
Well, thank you so much for coming. Oh,
Thank you so
but
much.
before we get off,
Yeah.
how can people find you, with your blog and all those things? And,
Yeah, so I currently don't have a blog up or anything like that. However, I will be dropping in different publications coming up. I'm currently in a magazine called Black Oak Society.
okay.
I wrote a piece basically based on historic Raleigh. It was a mayor and councilman and doctor that lived there. He had a historical building there, so I would love people to check that out. And when I do go on different other blog sites and things of that nature, I will have a website back up. It'll more than likely be my name, MatthewCharity.com.
Okay.
So look for that this summer, definitely. And other than that, you can see me around. Like I said, I'm going to continue to throw my name out there in the hat, and yeah, put my information out there.
Well, just know your names are in rooms you don't even know right now, but they are out
Hey, there we go. You're right. You're absolutely right. That's the saying goes both ways. So it's both ways.
Yes, continue to be that lighthouse. That's all we know.
Hey, absolutely. Will do.
Until the next episode, remember to take life as one grain of sand.